Well, it's the end of yet another week, and here on this channel that means one thing and one thing only. Every weekend, I post an episode of this series we do called Your Take Not Mine, where I turn to you, the viewers, to give me your hottest NBA takes of the week based on what's going on at the time, and I then choose my favorite submissions and discuss them in a video. This week, we saw the Milwaukee Bucks fight back to tie the NBA Finals up at 2 games apiece, so of course there's plenty for us to discuss. In order to submit your takes, I make a community post on either the day of or the day before the video, similar to the one that you see on your screen now, so if you want a chance to be featured in a future episode, be sure to stay on the lookout for that. Before we start though, it turns out about 61% of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so please, if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but I'd also very much appreciate it. Now with that being said, let's begin. The first take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Joel, and he says that Chris Paul has been given way too much credit for the Suns' success this season, and it's been guys like Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, and even Cam Payne putting in work to elevate the team. So obviously Chris Paul came to the Suns this season, and immediately they went from being a serial lottery team to a championship contender in the finals, so for the sake of the narrative, Chris Paul has been given a lot of praise and credit for the success of the team by the fans and media alike. I'm definitely not here to say most of it is unwarranted by any means, because there is absolutely no doubt that Chris Paul has been a huge boost for them and has provided them with leadership, calmness orchestrating the team, and a big-time playmaker, but I do agree with the general notion of Joel's take in that I think a lot of other players on the team tend to get glossed over despite them all having just as much to do with the Suns' success by taking huge steps forward. DeAndre Ayton sacrificed a lot individually with his production to buy into a system built more for winning basketball games, and his efficiency has been through the roof this postseason run as a result. Mikal Bridges is genuinely one of the best 3-and-D players in the league right now, Cam Payne emerged as an incredible spark plug off the bench, and Cam Johnson is maturing game by game too in front of our very eyes. It's easy just to chalk everything up to Chris Paul because of where they were before he got there and then where they are now with him, but that's just a lazy way to analyze the situation, because when you look deeper, you see so much growth from the team as a whole to get them to this point. The next take we'll be discussing comes to us from Alvin, and he says that no matter how much Ben Simmons gets slandered for the way he played in the playoffs, any package centered around him in a trade would still be the best offer that anyone has to offer for Damian Lillard. So yesterday, Damian Lillard dominated the headlines because several people were reporting that he was about to request a trade and that he will be looking to find a new home this offseason. Sure, he did deny this in a press conference that he had, but players typically always keep this kind of stuff behind closed doors and never go public with these kind of things anyway, so who knows what's actually happening behind the scenes. With that being said, of course, the 76ers, who are desperate for a perimeter shot creator, instantly became linked with them in trade rumors because pairing Damian Lillard with Joel Embiid would be a dream come true for them, and Ben Simmons just so happens to be on the hot seat because of his playoff performances. Now, would this be the best offer the Blazers could receive? I'm going to be as unbiased here as possible, but it certainly is at the very least one of them. The Sixers would likely throw all of Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, maybe even promising rookie Tyrese Maxey, along with tons of draft picks in their offer, and not many teams have the ammo to top that. The Warriors will also be interested in acquiring him, and they have both the 7th and 14th picks in this year's draft, along with James Wiseman to offer, but I don't think that beats Philly's offer unless they include someone maybe like Klay Thompson as well. There will obviously be plenty of teams interested in acquiring Damian Lillard because he is, after all, one of the league's best players, and while it's impossible to label one team as the clear-cut favorite to land him, the Sixers definitely at least have a decent chance to do so. The next take we'll be discussing comes to us from Irish, and he says that the Celtics should avoid getting involved in the Damian Lillard sweepstakes because of their bad recent history with acquiring big-name talented guards. This take stuck out to me for a variety of reasons, but the biggest reason is because of the absurdity of it. I feel like this kind of mindset amongst Boston fans stems from the way that Danny Ainge used to run the team as general manager for so long, and kind of becoming a meme in the process, where he would always come close to trading for big-name players, then never actually getting the deal done, and afterwards saying that he came close while justifying not making those moves. Also, in this particular take, using the examples of Kemba Walker and Kyrie Irving to justify not going after Damian Lillard doesn't make any sense, because Lillard has literally nothing to do with those two players, and his success would not have any correlation to how the stints of those two players went in Boston. There are legitimate reasons why or why not the Celtics would try to go after Lillard, most stemming from the fact that they would have to likely include Jaylen Brown in their trade package, but basing it on Kemba and Kyrie is not a valid reason at all. And finally, the last take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Stewart, and he says that if the Bucks win the finals this year, Giannis would be considered a top 3 power forward in NBA history. So, when you first hear something like that, it sounds kind of ridiculous, and I feel like most people's first reaction, myself included, is that it is ridiculous. But the more I think about it, the more I can actually see where he's coming from. Obviously, Tim Duncan is the #1 power forward the game has ever seen, but then after him, there's a tier of players that Giannis could actually match up with. Guys like Karl Malone, Kevin Garnett, Dirk Nowitzki, and Charles Barkley are all in that next tier of power forwards, and when you start to compare production, accolades, and accomplishments, Giannis could stack up. He has more MVP awards than all of them except for Karl Malone, who he has the same amount as. He has a Defensive Player of the Year award under his belt already, matching Kevin Garnett, and a championship along with a Finals MVP award would put him either on level terms or past the rest of them as well, all while being very early in his prime with many more seasons left to play. Giannis is one of the most dominant forces the league has ever seen without question, and with his legacy, it absolutely without question would begin to be cemented with a championship ring, as is the case with all of the all-time greats. Maybe it would still be a bit early to put him top 3 at the position, but he sure as hell wouldn't be far off if the Bucks pull it off in the finals this year, and even if they don't, he still has a lot of time to get there. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about the takes we discussed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.